Hello everyone, I am so excited about this video because in this video I am summarizing hundreds of hours worth of learnings that I have gotten from Andrew Huberman's podcast. I have probably devoured almost all the content that he's put out on the internet, and this is a summary of everything. This is a cheat sheet, and if you can do 5 of them, you will see that you're a new person. Of course, incorporate these things slowly and you'll find yourself to be physically stronger, faster, better mental clarity, better focus, no attention deficit or any of the things that we've been struggling with these days. Sit back with a popcorn. This video is going to be a little bit longer, but I promise you it'll be well worth your while. All right, here we go. Let's start with number 1. The only thing that if you want to take away from this video is get yourself outside in the sunlight. As soon as you wake up, get out there, get that sunlight. Let the photons in the environment hit your eyes. Your eyes need this sunlight energy so that it can wake up the systems. There is some sort of like a clock mechanism. As soon as your eyes see the sunlight, not through a window, direct sunlight outside, as soon as your eyes see that, a clock starts, and what that tells your brain and your body is actually to secrete the melatonin 12 to 14 hours after this clock starts. And melatonin is the hormone that helps you to fall asleep, not stay asleep, but fall asleep. That'll become important in just a second. If you did not watch the whole video and just did this, your life will be 1,000 times better. So get out there and get yourself exposed to morning sunlight. Cheat sheet tip number 2, sleep and wake up at the same time every day. Yes, weekends don't matter to your biology. Your body does not understand Saturday and Sunday. You have to do this every single day. Sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time. And out of this tip, I'll tell you a bonus tip. Instead of having an alarm to wake up, you should have an alarm to go to bed, because that is more important, to let your body rest at the right time every single night so you can get all the sleep that you need and naturally wake up. There is a lot of confusion in the science world. How many hours should we sleep? You'll know about your body, it's going to be different, but if you set this circadian rhythm right, circadian rhythm is the king. If you go to bed every single night at about the same time and let your body naturally wake up, you will understand what the sleep requirements for your body are. I've been doing this for the last so many years. Even when I was working a full-time job, I would go to bed around 9 p.m. and wake up closer to 6. So that meant that my body needed 8.5 to 9 hours. Yes, I'm not that lucky. My body does not naturally wake up in 6 hours. You will also know that about your body if you slept at the same time and woke up at the same time every morning, including weekends. Out of all of this discussion, now I've already mentioned circadian rhythm. 2 words, circadian rhythm. This is the theme of everything about neuroscience and biology. We need to give our bodies everything on time, including our food, our snacks, sleep, most of the things. If they happen at the same time every day, our muscles, our cells, our neurons know when to expect, what to expect, and it's not like a chaos happening inside our body and our mind. So please try to keep your circadian rhythm consistent as much as you can. Number 4, ditch alcohol. I know, this one will not sit well with many of you, but hear me out. Everything that I have learned and read about alcohol through Andrew Huberman and obviously many other sources, scientifically speaking, this substance is a poison that is socially acceptable to consume when we want to celebrate. Think about it again. Alcohol goes inside our body and it converts into aldehydes and then eventually acetate. Acetates are class 1 carcinogens. Aldehydes are class 1 carcinogens also. So anytime, even if you're drinking 2 or 3 drinks or 4 drinks every weekend, your body is going through some irreversible damage, and there is no way to recover the body's health back to where it started before you started drinking alcohol. And especially People younger than 25 years of age, your brain is still changing, neuroplasticity is still happening from age 0 to 25. And imagine poisoning that process by this thing called alcohol, which is so socially acceptable. That is why I do not drink alcohol. Zero, nothing, nada. I do not want to put this toxin inside my body. And I'm not going to say that I've never had it. Yes, I've had, like as a college student, I've tried a bunch of alcohol, but I could not continue down this road once I learned exactly what happens. If you guys are interested, I'll leave the link down in the description where Andrew Huberman talks about alcohol for 2 hours and explains the entire mechanism of what happens when you consume this substance. So here we're just doing the cheat sheet. So the cheat sheet says the best amount of alcohol to consume for anybody who wants to be better with their health, longevity, wants to be stronger, faster, more focused, is 0 drinks per week. Let's move on. Learn to control the mind with the body. Most of us think that when you want to control something in your mind, you just change your thoughts or beliefs and your mind is going to respond. It's actually not very simple to control the mind with the mind. As Huberman explains, it's actually easier to control your mind with your body. And specifically, you have this organ inside of you that has an extremely profound effect on how the mind works. Can you guess what that organ is? It's called the diaphragm. It's right here, right under our lungs, this diaphragm. When I take a breath, it goes down because my lungs inflate. And when I release my breath, the diaphragm goes up. It goes up and down. And this motion of the diaphragm going up and down sends some powerful signals to our brain, and it can change the way we are feeling, the emotions in real time. Not like meditation, where it's kind of like a maintenance job. You meditate every day, so you are more calm usually in life. But when you use your diaphragm the right way, and I'm gonna get to that in a second, but when you use your diaphragm, which also means breathing the right way, you're able to change the way your brain works. Isn't that mind-blowing already? Okay, we're gonna keep going. Next one is expose yourself to sunset light as well. I'm getting close to sunset here. I'm outdoors, I'm so inspired from all the sunrise and sunset. That's why I'm outside today. But expose yourself to sunset light as well. Why? Because this is the time the frequencies are converted into certain yellows and reds that are also giving your body a signal to generate that melatonin that you will need to fall asleep. So sunrise and sunset. We're gonna go outside every single day, both during sunrise and sunset. Speaking of melatonin, that's our next point. Melatonin only helps you to fall asleep. It does not keep you asleep. So if you ever think that you're going to get a better sleep by grabbing some melatonin supplements that are over the counter, many scientists have agreed that it's a bad idea. One, because it does not keep you asleep. Matthew Walker in his book Why We Sleep also talks about melatonin and not using supplements unless it's absolutely necessary, and of course talk to your doctor when that is the case for you. But in general, you don't want to use melatonin supplements because they are highly unregulated. Whatever the dosage says on the box, it might be 10% or 90% less or more than the actual dosage inside the capsule. So we're going to stay away from melatonin. Only generate melatonin using these natural ways where you go outside in the sunlight morning and evening and set that clock consistently at the same time every single day. That will generate the right amounts of melatonin when you need it, as you need it. So no supplements unless it's prescribed by a doctor. Now that we're talking about melatonin, our next point is about sleep. Nothing else matters if your sleep is crap. So learn about how to sleep well, keep your room cool, 69 to 71 degree Fahrenheit, keep the temperature around that range, and keep your sleep solid. Sleep in a very dark room. Even a teeny tiny light coming from night lights or any other source is too much light, because our eyes get extremely sensitive to light. They're not enough sensitized in the morning, so you need a lot of sunlight, at least 10 minutes on a very sunshiny day, and an overcast day like this, you need like 30 to 40 minutes of sunlight. But at night, if you get even a tiny amount of light, that can completely disrupt your sleep. So if you lift up your hand like this at night and you're able to see the silhouette of your fingers, that means there's too much light in your room. So darken your rooms and sleep well. Oh, bonus tip about sleep. If you think that alcohol helps you sleep better, it does not. It can get you to the state of sleep, but inside, while your body is metabolizing that alcohol, it is going to disrupt the natural sleep and wake cycles. So alcohol does not. In fact, it does the exact opposite of helping you sleep. Another type of sleep that we're going to talk about is naps. If they make you feel good and they do not interrupt with your night sleep, go ahead and take naps. If they don't, if you tend to oversleep during your naps, if you've tried taking a nap, you want like, I just want to sleep for 30 minutes, but you end up napping for 2 hours and then you wake up groggy and you're not able to fall asleep well at night, then maybe naps are not a good idea for you. But if you are that superhuman that can just nap for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, feel refreshed and energized, they can be very beneficial for your health. If you don't nap, Yoga Nidra or non-sleep deep rest, NSDR, is the recommended way to go by Andrew Huberman. You can find non-sleep deep rest NSDR scripts or Yoga Nidra scripts. You lay down, you close your eyes and you listen to this YouTube video script. They are talking to you, you listen to that script, you get into this like deep state of relaxation and you just lay down there for 20 minutes. I haven't done a Yoga Nidra script yet, but I have done a lot of scripts for relaxation when I was pregnant and I was preparing for childbirth, and I know those helped me tremendously. When I was about in my first trimester with both pregnancies, I would get so exhausted that I had to sit down, not work. Sometimes I would fall asleep in a nap, but sometimes I would just listen to a relaxing script and go into this deep state of focus and relaxation at the same time. It was amazing, and I plan to do this even more because I've had such a good experience with it already. And now that I see that it's rooted in science, this next point, I don't even know where we are at now, 9, 10, but exercise. Yes, you've heard exercise, but a little bit will not cut it. You know, cleaning your house or doing some laundry and dusting around does not count as exercise. You have to do strenuous exercise. You have to be rigorous with it. It does not matter. And we're going to talk about how to do hard things right after this. So stick around because I'm going to teach you how to exercise rigorously, because that is also a neuroscience, the brain concept. You know, mind over matter, you've heard about it so many times, but we are going to talk about why it works, why the mind over matter works, and why you should feel safe pushing yourself to those boundaries, to those limits where you didn't even think you could perform an exercise, but it is okay to push your boundaries that way. But what we want to remember is you have to have strenuous exercise in your regime. That is non-negotiable. Just do it. You have to do it. My next point in this cheat sheet is about how to go ahead and do these hard things. So Huberman shares that whenever we're about to start something that we're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do it, or it's too hard, there is this chemical that is released in our brains called norepinephrine, which is some sort of an adrenaline chemical. That's the one that makes us feel like agitated and kind of stressed. But what you can do is understand that this is okay. This feeling of agitation and not wanting to do is okay. But once you push past that and you smack it down by continuing your effort, by continuing that extremely difficult exercise, the body and the brain is going to release dopamine. And this is the reward system that our body, the fundamental reward system that is built into our body, that whenever something's hard, first you'll feel this resistance. The norepinephrine will make you feel resistant, and then eventually if you push past it, you're gonna feel the dopamine release. And this is why you wanna push past, so you get that reward. And what dopamine does is it generates motivation. It's the motivation chemical. Basically, even right now, like my hands moving or me talking and making this video, I have high levels of dopamine inside of me, and that's why I'm able to present with so much energy. but everything that we do, anytime we move, dopamine is involved in motivation. So when we do something hard, we want to go from norepinephrine stage to that dopamine stage, because this dopamine is going to push us further and further into that motivation world. And remember, the most important thing about motivation is action brings motivation. It's not the other way around. You are not going to get motivated first and then you start doing the action. So always just get up, push yourself, and that motivation will follow, because the brain is going to reward you. And my next point, I think this is the second most important point after the get some sunlight in the morning, because I feel like those two itself are able to like completely revert somebody, completely change somebody's life. And that is, when you're doing something hard, during the effort, you ask your brain to release dopamine. And I know it sounds like, how can you ask your brain to release dopamine? But basically you have to tell yourself and believe that this is good for you. So for example, if you're lifting a really heavy weight, you want to say that even though this is burning and right now my muscle is screaming, this is really good for me and I want to continue to do it, and the brain is going to generate dopamine. Basically, you're believing that you're feeling good and this is good for you. With the effort, if you're able to generate dopamine, you're going to be able to do that effort for longer. Duh. And that's why it's more important to reward yourself with this dopamine during the effort phase and not when you're done with the workout. Even if it's something hard that you're doing, like mentally hard, not physically hard, you're writing code that was mentally really hard, you have to generate dopamine while you are writing that method. By writing each line of that method, every line generates dopamine, and not when you're done with the whole project, because that's going to make the process enjoyable. And once the process is enjoyable, you're unstoppable. Just realizing this about our brains and having that feeling of control, that I can control. So I am telling my brain right now that this rep of building and creating this video is exciting, and I'm having fun, and I'm having this motivation is going to keep me motivated to keep building and creating more videos. So all right, let me know in the comments if you do any of these two things. At least tell me that you're going to be going outside in sunlight before I continue with the rest of the cheat sheet. All right, the next one is build meaningful and consistent social connections. It is extremely important for our social species, no matter what we label ourselves, introverts, extroverts, we have to have social connections. And you know what? I stand corrected. I thought that small talk is just a waste of time, but even small talk is good. It's important. I'm much more welcoming of the small talk I do with my mom, with some of my family and friends, than when I used to resist it, because small talk is a form of social connection. Even if it's for 2 minutes, if you have a consistent just hi bye in the hallway at your workplace, is a meaningful social connection, and it holds a lot of value and creates a sense of well-being and happiness in us social primate ape species. So work on those social connections. It doesn't have to be always deep. It's great if it's deep, but it doesn't always have to be. So don't put pressure on yourself, but work on those social connections. Meditation. We have to talk about meditation. We're talking about mindfulness. Only 13 minutes. Studies have showed only 13 minutes a day is extremely beneficial. So before you think that you have to meditate for half an hour, 1 hour, I think all of us can remove some 13 minutes out of our day, because most of us are using our phones for 5 to 6 to sometimes 9 hours a day. So 13 minutes every single day, if we are able to meditate, I don't think I need to say another sentence about the benefits of meditation. The calm, the focus, the neuroplasticity, and just the rest that our brain gets. And I used to find meditation really hard, but I started using this app called Headspace. I'll put a link down below in the description box, but I felt like their guided meditations were much easier to sit down and have someone guide me, because I'm not that good at it and I haven't spent thousands of hours meditating. So having a guided meditation gets me in that flow easier, and I get less distracted. And one thing that you need to remember about meditation is it's not how much you can focus on it, but you need to know that you will get distracted, and it is actually an art of refocusing yourself, not focusing, just accepting that you will get distracted, and it's the art of refocusing. So remember that, and meditation will get much more enjoyable, doable, and manageable. Next one is weight training. Yes, I mentioned about it previously that your workouts need to be strenuous. I'm also a big proponent of moving the body the way you like. Sometimes I'll dance, sometimes I'll surf, I'll do yoga, but weight training is non-negotiable. You have to strengthen your muscles. If you keep running, you're going to lose muscle mass. You have to add this weight training workout at least 2 times, if not 3 times a week, to your exercise routine, and keep building those muscles, because ultimately you need that muscle mass for your body to function well, and body is connected to the brain. So neuroscientists said that, and I've been weight training since I was, I think, 14 years old. I cannot stress how much it has helped me throughout my life to carry this body, to carry the 2 children that I birthed. My legs are extremely strong. I've done this crazy bike ride from San Francisco to Los Angeles in 7 days, and I know all of that was because my muscles were there to support me. So weight train, please, especially older folk, please weight train. I know so many old people, elders amongst our families, who fall down because they don't have enough strength in their legs, in their body, to catch the fall. And we all know so many times when they fall down, it's the worst quality of life that you're leading. So please, go to that gym, find a trainer that will be able to safely get you to weight training. Because if you're afraid of weight training, that it's going to injure you, imagine that fall. That's going to injure you more. So please weight train. Learning how to breathe, and in real time you can use these breathing techniques. So for example, if you're about to go give a presentation and you're having some nerves, you want to calm down, you do this thing called the physiological sigh. So you take in a breath, take in a little bit more, and then let it go. This physiological sigh, where you inflate your lungs, inflate it a little bit more, let it go. This takes out all the carbon dioxide and oxygenates even like the tiny bags inside of your lungs. Your lungs are 2 big bags, but it has got millions of small bags, and when you take the second inhale, those bags that were wet and stuck together, that pressure oxygenates them. And once you exhale all the CO2 out, you feel much more calm and alert. Try learning these breathing techniques, this diaphragm, this lung system, because it directly changes your mental state and your brain. So use your body to change your brain. You can use it in everyday practice like meditation or real time, where you're doing these physiological sighs. You can learn the pranayam, you can learn the Wim Hof method of breathing. The last but not the least is deliberate cold and heat exposure. So if you get into a really cold shower or an ice bath, or get into a sauna, and safely but slowly increase the amount of cold or heat that you can take. I would highly recommend that you do the rest of the points first, like you start exercising, you get in these lights and everything, because once your body starts feeling really strong, then you're able to take the cold exposure and the heat exposure better. Like, I've started taking all these cold showers, even though I live in Hawaii. The cold water is not that cold, but now I don't even think about it twice. First week was kind of hard, but it's very easy for me to take a cold shower here. Granted, the water is warmer here. It's not like California or any of the states where there's snow and you're like a cold shower would just freeze your bum. I haven't done that yet, but I feel much more confident and in control after adding the rest of the points to my daily routines, that I'll be able to take extra cold or extra heat exposure now. So do those first. See how you feel. If you start feeling more energetic and stronger, and then eventually your dopamine levels will be at a place where you're able to use the breathing techniques to get into the cold water and the hot water, and then give yourself that extra energy boost. All right, if you enjoyed these points, please share this with anybody you know, and give this video a like, because this video, just the research was like 3 weeks in the making. So let me know what you thought about, and if you incorporate any of this, or even start listening to Andrew Huberman's podcast. It's just like my desire to spread this awesome information as much as possible. I know Andrew already has millions of subscribers, but who knows, two extra people see this video. But this was a blast to make because I'm just so passionate about this topic, and I will see you next time very soon.